Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. This is Mike Peters with the Pottsville Church of Christ in Hickory, Kentucky, and it is time for our morning devotional. This morning, I want us to grab our Bibles and let's go and turn over to the book of Mark. I want to look at Mark chapter 1, and I'm going to begin reading in verse 40. Mark 1, verse 40. It says, "Now a leper came to him, imploring him, kneeling down to him, and saying to him, 'If you are willing, you can make me clean.' Then Jesus, moved with compassion, stretched out his hand and touched him, and said to him, 'I am willing, be cleansed.' As soon as he had spoken, immediately the leprosy left him, and he was cleansed. And he strictly warned him and sent him away at once, and said to him, 'See that you say nothing to anyone, but go your way, show yourself to the priest, and offer for your cleansing those things which Moses commanded as a testimony to them.' However, he went out and began to proclaim it freely and to spread the matter, so that Jesus could no longer openly enter the city, but was outside in deserted places, and they came to him from every direction." I want you to notice a couple of things within this narrative here, a couple of things that are just absolutely amazing. First of all, here's a leper coming to Jesus. Now, lepers were ostracized in society, and that was because leprosy at this time was an extremely contagious disease. Now, leprosy in the Old Testament is different from the leprosy that we're reading here in the New Testament. The form of leprosy we're reading here, and the kind of skin disease we think of when we think about leprosy is what's known as Hansen's disease, and it was introduced into the Palestine area, or region rather, by Alexander the Great and his army after they went into the Far East and then made their way back. When we read about leprosy, like the leprosy of Naaman in the Old Testament, we're reading a generic Hebrew word for any kind of skin condition. Could be a rash, could be some kind of eczema, but not Hansen's disease. It wasn't known in this region until the time of Alexander. But here is a man who has this severe disease that will eventually cost him his life. He was ostracized by society because of it. He wasn't able to live with the rest of society because of it. And yet he defies all of their rules by going and finding Jesus in a city. And notice what he says, "If you will." If you will. If you are willing. He didn't question Jesus's power. He didn't question Jesus's ability to heal. He simply said, "If you're willing." He understood who Jesus is. He understood that he had no right to make any demand upon Jesus, and that ultimately it was Jesus who was going to decide whether or not he was going to heal this man. And look at his response. I love this. And this, to me, is the most amazing thing about this account. And what a lesson to all of the disciples and the apostles who would be watching this. Jesus is moved with compassion. He felt for this man. And he stretched out his hand and touched him. This man suffered for no telling how long from a disease that ostracized him from society, but also ostracized him from any human touch. And yet Jesus reaches out, and for the first time in no telling how long, this man feels the touch of another human being. In this case, the Son of God himself. And Jesus tells him, "I'm willing." And he heals the man. Amazing. Amazing. What an attitude on both parts. The compassion of Jesus and the idea of the leper simply saying, "If you are willing." You know, many times we find ourselves in a position where we're at our wits' end. whether it's some kind of hardship we're going through, some kind of problem we're having to deal with, and we don't understand what the best thing is in the situation, and we go to God in prayer, and we pray about it, and we pour out our heart to God, and we find ourselves in the same exact position this leper is. If you're willing, help me. We know God has the power to help. We know God has the ability to help. And we just hope that he is willing. And just as Jesus is willing to heal the leper back in that day, God is willing to help us and bless us. And he is willing to answer our prayers. And it may not be the answer we're looking for. Sometimes we go to God with a preconceived idea already, and God says, no, this isn't the best for you in this situation. And so he doesn't give us a yes, but instead gives us a no, or maybe gives us a wait a little while and go through this some more. But he will answer. And he's always going to answer in a way that's perfect and in our best interest. And we have to have trust and faith in God's answer. And we should never, ever let our faith waver, because God is willing and he is able. This is Mike Peters with the Pottsville Church of Christ. I hope these daily devotionals are a blessing to your life. I hope they're putting a positive start to your day. If you like this content, want to see more of this content, please subscribe to our page, hit the bell notification. If you're watching on Facebook, like this video, share it on your page so we can get the message of Jesus out to as many people as possible. I hope everyone is staying safe at this time. I hope that everyone is doing well. And don't forget, always be praying.